Hello everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Sorry for being a few minutes late. So, I hope you're all doing fine. Also, sorry for this week. I answered the messages a bit late. I was on a trip from Monday I went back home 2 days ago. But I think I answered everyone by now. Alors, let us start with our session for today, and we will start this with a really important auxiliary that you will find everywhere in French, which will be avoir, to have, avoir. Let's see how it's conjugated. Of course, it's an auxiliary, so just like être, to be, it has its own conjugation, so it's like an irregular verb. It doesn't really have a pattern or anything because you will see. Oh, you cannot hear me, guys? Hello? Oh, okay. So it's just, okay, I was afraid at the moment. I thought I was talking to myself. All right. So, Harvin, you should check your parameters, maybe. Harvinder. All right. Let's get going then. So, alors, avoir. Here is its conjugation and how it goes. So, AI, AS, just A, and then AVONS, AVEZ, and then just ONT. Let's see the pronunciation. So it's G, okay, not je et, or like this, G. Whenever you see the apostrophe, it's like if you're pronouncing it in one word, G. Tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. Alors, let's see with some examples. J'ai un chien. J'ai un chien. Tu as un livre intéressant. Tu as un livre intéressant. Il a beaucoup de travail. Il a beaucoup de travail. Elle a un frère et une sœur. Elle a un frère et une sœur. Nous avons une réunion demain. Nous avons une réunion demain. Vous avez une belle maison. Vous avez une belle maison. Ils ont des enfants adorables. Ils ont des enfants adorables. Okay, so for these words ending with able, I like in English, please, I don't want to hear able. Okay, adorable. Able. It's not able. Able. Okay, the A is never pronounced in French. The A is always pronounced A. A. Adorable. Elles ont des amis fantastiques. Elles ont des amis fantastiques. J'ai un chien. Tu as un livre intéressant. Il a beaucoup de travail. Elle a un frère et une sœur. Nous avons une réunion demain. Vous avez une belle maison. Ils ont des enfants adorables. Elles ont des amis fantastiques. So let's take a look if there is some word that I have maybe to translate. Frères et sœurs, we've seen this ones. Réunion, it's a meeting. Maison, enfant, adorable. Fantastic is fantastic, of course, it's clear. That's it. Any questions? All right, let's go further. So there are some common verbs that will use avoir, and together it will become an expression, a useful expression. Dog is chien, okay? Chien, chien. Alors, let's see some expressions containing avoir. So for example, avoir faim. Avoir faim is to be hungry. I know you will ask me, oh, but there is to be in English, so why is it avoir? Can't we use être here? No, we cannot use être, okay? Remember that learning through word by word translation is a mistake, okay? So, avoir faim is literally to have hunger, because what we put after avoir here is a noun, okay? To be hungry, because hungry in English, it's not a noun, it's an adjective. So that's why we use to be, okay? Because to be in a state, to be in adjective, to be adjective. So, which means to be in a state, in a certain state, that state will be named by an adjective. That's why we use to be in English. However, in French, we will use having, not the adjective, but the noun. Here, that's why the structure changes from English to French, okay? Because it doesn't really translate literally by the same thing. Avoir faim, faim is hunger, so to have hunger. For example, and of course you can use this expression and conjugate it with whatever subject you want, and you will get a sentence. J'ai faim. J'ai faim. I am hungry, or literally it is I have hunger. Okay? Tu as toujours faim. Tu as toujours faim. You are always hungry. Avoir soif. Avoir soif. In here, the F is pronounced. Okay? Soif. So, to be thirsty. So this, you may guess, it's thirst. Okay? It's the noun for thirst. It's thirst. So to have thirst. Avoir soif. Elle a soif après le sport. Elle a soif après le sport. She is thirsty after sports. Nous avons tous soif en été. Nous avons tous soif en été. We all get thirsty in summer. Avoir froid. Avoir froid. To be cold. So the cold is le froid. Okay. So to have cold, basically. But in English, if we say I have cold, it would mean that we are sick, but you get the idea. Alors, il a froid en hiver. Il a froid en hiver. He is cold in winter. Ils ont toujours froid dans cette pièce. Ils ont toujours froid dans cette pièce. They often feel cold in this room. Here we use pièce to mean room, but I wrote here as a note for you to remember. So pièce can have two meanings in French. It can be used to mean either a room, but also a coin, okay? Une pièce d'argent, for example, a money coin, a coin of money. Or une pièce d'argent, a silver coin. And we can use also une chambre to mean a room, okay? Une pièce, une chambre. All right. No questions so far? Alors, avoir chaud, to be hot. So, avoir chaud. Salle, yes, it's also a room, but generally we speak about salle. We say salle for big rooms, basically in offices, for example, a theater, in a theater room is called une salle de cinéma. Une salle de cinéma. You see the logic? So, or for example, a meeting room, une salle de réunion, une salle de réunion. So generally it's either for big rooms, like big spaces, or office related spaces. Of course, in office, you will not say une chambre, okay? Une chambre is for houses, but not in an office. Oh my God. Gender, yes? Question?
Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
So you said it's just for a big group, like a big room.
Yes. Mhm.
But what about the like a washroom? They are not big
Yeah,
rooms. So
yeah.
what can we call salle de bain
Salle de
or
bain.
something?
It's salle de bain.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
But that's a small.
Yeah, I know, but it's the only one that we use small salle for it. Okay, salle de bain.
Okay.
So the bathroom.
So, but like that's you said what we use salle for the big rooms, but here we use for the small one.
Yeah. Beside this one, we use
So it's
salle
a
only for big.
exception. It's exception or something.
Yeah, it's an exception. That just for that
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
you're welcome. Alors, avoir chaud. Nous avons chaud en plein soleil. Nous avons chaud en plein soleil. Plein means full. Okay. So we are hot in direct sunlight. Soleil is sun. So nous avons chaud en plein soleil. So we are hot in full sun. But what we mean by it, it's direct sun. It doesn't mean that plein means direct as a word. Okay? Contextually here, it means direct sunlight. But soleil doesn't mean sunlight and plein doesn't mean direct. So, nous avons chaud en plein soleil. Vous avez chaud dans cette veste. Vous avez chaud dans cette veste. You are hot in that jacket. Alors, avoir peur. Avoir peur. To be afraid. J'ai peur des araignées. Araignées. Nier. OK? J'ai peur des araignées. So, I am afraid of spiders. Araignée is spider. Or here it's plural, so spiders. And it's a feminine word. I wrote it. Alors, ils ont peur de l'obscurité. Ils ont peur de l'obscurité. Ils ont peur de l'obscurité. L'obscurité. Ils ont peur de l'obscurité. They are afraid of the dark. L'obscurité is the dark. Alors, avoir raison. Avoir raison. To be right. Tu as raison, c'est une bonne idée. Tu as raison, c'est une bonne idée. You are right, it's a good idea. Elle a toujours raison. Elle a toujours raison. She is always right. Avoir tort, to be wrong. Avoir tort. So, il a tort de ne pas écouter. Il a tort de ne pas écouter. It is wrong not to listen. Nous avons tort de ne pas y aller. Nous avons tort de ne pas y aller. We were wrong. No. De ne. There's a mistake here. So I'm hesitating which one to change. Should I change the English one or the French one? Well, the English one. We are, because the tense is wrong here. We are wrong not to go. In English, that was the past that was used, but here we are using the present. I know. Avoir envie de. Okay, avoir envie de. It's an expression to mean to want. Okay, to want. But we have also a verb for it in French. It's vouloir. Okay, avoir envie de is the same as vouloir. So to want literally means, word by word, to have a desire for. Okay, that's what it means, to have a desire for. And actually, even in English, this expression is synonym to want or to have a desire for. Okay, so j'ai envie de manger une glace. J'ai envie de manger une glace. I want to eat ice cream. So we can say also, I have the desire to eat an ice cream. Ils ont envie de voyager. Ils ont envie de voyager. They want to travel. Ils ont envie de voyager. Alors, avoir besoin de. Avoir besoin de. Another expression with the preposition de, which means to need. Okay? Literally, to have a need for. Because un besoin is a need. Okay? Un besoin is a need. So, to have a need for. Elle a besoin d'aide. Elle a besoin d'aide. Aide is help. Okay? Elle a besoin d'aide. She needs help. She has a need for help. Sorry. Vous avez besoin de repos. Vous avez besoin de repos. You need rest, or you have a need for rest. Repos is rest. Oh my God. Stop moving. Okay. Venkatesh, yes?
Hello.
Hello, yes?
In the two sentences before, ils ont envie de voyager or
Yes?
vous avez besoin de repos. Especially they want to travel. Should we not use the preposition a, and why we are using they?
No, because avoir envie de has avoir envie to need to have a desire for something.
Oh, for okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to use de in this case.
But that's the format goes along with envy and avoir.
Yes.
Okay.
Same reason.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Let's. Where was I? Avoir besoin. Done. Avoir l'habitude de. Another one. The last one with the preposition de. So avoir l'habitude de. It's to be accustomed to. Or literally again, to have the habit of. L'habitude is the habit. Okay? To have the habit of. Il a l'habitude de se lever tôt. Il a l'habitude de se lever tôt. So, he is accustomed to getting up early, or he has the habit of getting up early. Nous avons l'habitude de faire du jogging le matin. Nous avons l'habitude de faire du jogging le matin. We are accustomed to doing jogging in the morning, or I don't know, is this here? Or we have the habit of doing jogging in the morning. C'est clear? Do you want me to repeat something maybe, or to explain something again? Any questions before moving to something else? Clear? We can move. All right, let's move on. Let's see demonstrative adjectives. Maybe you already noticed them in some examples, but you didn't know what it means, or maybe you asked me and I told you what it means. Let's see these ones. So it's this ones. Ce, cette, c'est, and ça. Okay? Basically, they are used to point something, to point to a noun, to refer to a noun. Okay? Not to refer, but to point. Referring is another thing. So to point to a noun. So technically, these all of these ones are just one. It's taken different forms. Again, why? You would guess it, because of we have everything is gendered and numbered. So this is also gendered and numbered. So for masculine singular nouns before them, we use ce. Okay, this one, ce, ce. Of course, they have to start with a consonant sound. Why? Because we will see that when a masculine singular word starts with a vowel, we will use this one, set. Okay? So, for masculine singular nouns that start with a consonant, so not a vowel, we use ce to point them. So, ce livre est intéressant. Ce livre est intéressant. So, this book is interesting. Of course, it's always translated to this or these in plural. Okay? This book is interesting. Ce chien est mignon. Ce chien est mignon. This dog is cute. Mignon is cute. Cette. So double T, E. Feminine singular nouns. For example, cette fleur est magnifique. So we understand from this that fleur is feminine. Cette fleur est magnifique. Magnifique, magnifique. Okay, not magnifique, magnifique. This flower is beautiful, but more exactly, magnifique is translated to, of course, magnificent. Magnifique. Cette voiture est rapide. Cette voiture est rapide. This car is fast. Rapide is fast. Alors, set, it's pronounced the same as this one. Okay, set, set. The pronunciation doesn't change. However, we use this one. So for masculine singular nouns that start with a vowel or a silent H. Okay, examples. Cet arbre est impressionnant. Cet arbre est impressionnant. Arbre is masculine. Tree. And it starts with a vowel A, so we use cet. We cannot say ce arbre est impressionnant. Cet arbre est impressionnant. Homme. So cet homme est intelligent. Cet homme est intelligent. Silent H. So, cet homme est intelligent. So, cet arbre est impressionnant. Cet homme est intelligent. Let's see for the plural now. Alors, c'est. This is pronounced c'est. Okay, c'est. It means these. So it's the plural of this. C'est. So it's used before plural nouns. Either masculine, feminine, starting with a vowel, not a vowel, doesn't matter. it's plural, we use ces. Ces livres sont intéressants. Ces livres sont intéressants. Ces fleurs sont colorées. Ces fleurs sont colorées. So these books are interesting. These flowers are colorful. Coloré, colorful. And the last one, which will be neither masculine, feminine, or plural, or anything, it's ça. Remember, there is this little accent under the C, la cédille. It's used to force the se pronunciation for the C, okay? Of course, it's never perfect. Alors, ça. It's the impersonal pronoun. It's an informal this or that, okay? Ça is an informal abbreviation for ce or cette. It is used to refer to something without specifying its gender or number. So it can mean this or that. Donc, ça va bien, ça va bien. This or that is going well. Ça m'intéresse, okay? That interests me, or this interests me. If you want, it's... come on. Yeah. Alors, if you want, it can be translated. It's the equivalent a little bit of the it, okay, in English, because you know that we don't have the pronoun it in French. We don't have it. You have je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, et il et elle au pluriel. That's it. But when we, in English, we use it to refer to some things that are not gendered, right? It's the same thing here. We use ça as it to things that we don't want to gender, because not things that are not gendered, because everything is gendered and numbered, but things that we are not specifying their gender, basically. The feminine that starts with a vowel, you use set, okay? You don't think of it a lot. It's feminine, it's set, okay? So we don't care about if it's starting with a vowel or not, only if it's masculine singular. In that case, yes, we take a look and we change it. Yes, Venkatesh?
When we say even this or that, we have something referring in our mind, right? So it could be a thing or it could be any person. So there should be some gender, right? So what do you mean without specifying gender or number? So what can you give more example?
Yes, of course. Ça va bien, ça m'intéresse. Ça semble difficile. Ça semble difficile. Ça semble. What? Semble difficile. It seems difficult. Okay.
Okay.
You see? So it seems difficult, for example. Or, ça m'arrange bien. Ça m'arrange bien. Because you see, we are not referring to any masculine or feminine or plural or singular word here. Ça semble difficile, but what is ça? We don't know what we are talking about, right? Ça semble difficile. It seems difficult, but what is the it here? We don't know. Ça m'arrange bien. It suits me well. It suits me well. Okay? Ça m'arrange bien. Again, we are not referring clearly what suits me here, so it's just it. So ça. Clear?
So yeah, in case, for example, set washer is a rapid. If you are not using say washer, can we replace that with sa a rapid?
No, we use another one. We say c'est rapide, right? We don't say ça est rapide. Why is the capital letter not working? It was working just now. Anyway, so it's c'est rapide, we say.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. Not C with the CD, but normal C. C'est rapide. Okay, it's fast.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's starts with
Because
vowel, so apostrophe. Okay.
exactly. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks.
Perfect. C'est rapide. It's fast. Questions? None? Unclear? All right. Well, let's see some French adverbs for quantity. Alors, yeah, quite a long list here. Some common French adverbs related to quantity and degree. So we have beaucoup, beaucoup. The P is not pronounced, okay? Not beaucoup, beaucoup. A lot or much. So, il a beaucoup d'amis. Il a beaucoup d'amis. He has a lot of friends. Il a beaucoup d'amis. Elle parle beaucoup de langues. Elle parle beaucoup de langues. She speaks many languages. Elle parle beaucoup de langues. Alors, actually, you notice here that if we want to put something after beaucoup, we have to use de. Okay? And it will be actually the case with all these adverbs of quantity. When you want to put something after them, you have to put the preposition de and all its variants, of course. When I say de, it doesn't only mean de, du, okay? Actually, no, for beaucoup, only de works, okay, for beaucoup. Alors, so, because if I say, I will go more in depth into it a little bit. So if I just say elle parle beaucoup, it's correct, of course. I don't have to put something after the adverb each time. It just gives more information, okay? So if I say elle parle beaucoup, so she speaks a lot. That's it. Well, here I cannot stop after the verb. Il a beaucoup. He has a lot. A lot of what? You see? So sometimes we can stop at beaucoup, sometimes not. Of course, it will depend on the context. Here, il a beaucoup, it doesn't really mean something. So he has a lot. A lot what? Okay, he has a lot. So, I think I received one question. No, actually, for this one, you will use only de, okay? Not the du, the de, or everything. So after quantities, we will always put de. Adverbs. Quantities, we will use de. Alors, trop. Trop is too much, or too many. Any one of them. So, trop. So, for example, c'est trop cher. C'est trop cher. It's too expensive. C'est trop cher. Il mange trop de bonbons. Il mange trop de bonbons. He eats too many candies. Now, I'm waiting for a question. Maybe I will receive it. Yes, Venkatesh?
Yeah, the question is when to use beku, and it sounds more similar.
That wasn't the question, but yes, it sounds weird. It sounds similar, yes, but you see that their translation, it's not the same. So it speaks, how can I explain it? So for this one, you can rely on the translation. So when it's a lot or much, it's beaucoup. But when it's too much, or too many, it's trop. Okay? But actually, I'm sorry, I cannot explain it more deeply on how to differentiate between them. Because actually, it would be a mistake if you say c'est beaucoup cher. C'est beaucoup cher, it will not mean anything. But for, of course, why? In this case, the question I was looking for actually, which will be a part of my explanation about your question, we didn't use, I said that after adverbs of quantity, if we want to complete them with something, with more information, we have to use de, right? But here we don't have de. So that was the question I was waiting for. Why? Because cher, expensive, it's an adjective, it's not a noun. So if we want to follow by an adjective, we don't have to use the preposition. But if we want to follow by a noun, in this case, we have to put the preposition de. So to follow with your question, I cannot put an adjective after beaucoup. It sounds weird. It's not like a literal rule that you will find in French, like in a book, and you will say, oh, you will never find, turn to the page where you use beaucoup, and you will see it's mentioned. We don't use adjectives with beaucoup. Okay, it's never said anywhere because it just feels natural in the speaking, or it feels weird in the speaking when we put an adjective after beaucoup, because after beaucoup, generally we use it with nouns only. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So either alone or with nouns, but not with an adjective. But for the next one, for example, il mange trop de bonbons. Il mange trop de bonbons. He eats too many candies. I can definitely replace trop with beaucoup in this case. Il mange beaucoup de bonbons, and it will still mean the same thing. So I hope it's clear for everyone. Clear, Venkatesh?
Yes,
Good.
thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Alors, this shouldn't be here. It should have its own section, but it's not mine. Sorry for this. Alors, suffisamment. It's another adverb. Suffisamment. It has nothing to do with trop, okay? Not because it's a mistake that has been here. It should be alone apart. But anyway. Alors, suffisamment, it means sufficiently or enough. So, nous avons suffisamment de temps. Nous avons suffisamment de temps. We have enough time. Il travaille suffisamment dur. He works hard enough. Elle travaille suffisamment dur. Okay, so for this one, it's easy, I think, to understand. Un peu. Un peu, it's a little. Or a few. J'ai un peu de temps libre. J'ai un peu de temps libre. So I have a little free time. J'ai un peu de temps libre. Il est un peu fatigué. He is a little tired. Again, here, we don't have to. Why? Because fatigué, tired, it's an adjective here. Alors, assez. It's enough or quite. Les réponses sont assez claires. Les réponses sont assez claires. The answers are clear enough. Les réponses sont assez claires. Les réponses are the answers. Alors, nous avons assez de nourriture pour tous. Nous avons assez de nourriture pour tous. We have enough food for everyone. Questions? For trop, can we use très? No. We cannot use très. It's not the same thing. Where to use suffisamment and assez? Yeah, actually, there are synonyms. Okay, so I can replace here with suffisamment, and I can replace here with assez. It would mean the same thing. There is no difference. Yes, par exemple, I can say les réponses sont suffisamment claires. Nous avons suffisamment de nourriture pour tous. It works well. There is no one actually that is better than the other or more correct than the other. So both are equally correct. All right. Let's move on with more. So we have two. Okay, two. It's also an adverb of quantity. That means all or every. So, tout le monde est là. Tout le monde est là. Okay, là, it means also ici. It can be replaced with ici. So it's just a note for you here, and it means here. Alors, tout le monde est là. Everyone is here. Remember that this expression, tout le monde, it means literally all the world, but we can use it also for when we speak about a certain amount of people. Okay? Le monde. We speak about a lot of people or everyone. Tout le monde est là. Everyone is here. J'ai mangé tout le gâteau. J'ai mangé tout le gâteau. I ate all the cake. J'ai autre. Autre, it's another or other. J'ai besoin d'une autre chaise. J'ai besoin d'une autre chaise. I need another chair. Il y a d'autres options disponibles. Il y a d'autres options disponibles. There are other options available. Okay? Même, it's same. Nous avons la même voiture. Nous avons la même voiture. We have the same car. Ils portent les mêmes chaussures. Ils portent les mêmes chaussures. They are wearing the same shoes. Certains forget about this because it's just a question I received in a previous session. So that's why I wrote that. Alors, certains, it means certain or some. So, j'ai certaines informations importantes. J'ai certaines informations importantes. I have some important information. Certaines personnes aiment le café noir. Certaines personnes aiment le café noir. Some people like black coffee. Okay? Or I will explain it again. I will take back and explain why. So why did I wrote here adjective and here also? Because those are not really adverbs because they are not referring. Adverbs are adjectives for verbs, but those refer to nouns. They follow the nouns and they are followed by nouns. So we have they will follow by gender and number, as you can see in the examples. Okay, information here, information, it's feminine. I write it here, feminine, and it's plural. So that's why we add the e and the s, because this is singular masculine. Basic form is singular masculine here. So if it's singular feminine, we add an e. If it's feminine plural, we add es, and if it's masculine plural, we add S. Certaines personnes. Personne is also feminine, and it's plural here. So that's why we say certaines. Okay, so these will follow by gender and number. When I say these, I mean certains and this next one. Okay, and the next one will be aucun. Aucun. So the pronunciation, of course, for certains, it will change from masculine to feminine, but not from masculine singular, from singular to plural. Okay, it will stay the same. From singular to plural, it will stay the same. But from masculine to feminine, it will change. Masculine, it's certain. Feminine, it's certaine. Certain, certaine. Aucun, it's for course masculine singular. For feminine, it will be aucune. Okay, aucune. We add an E to it. And of course, if it's plural, you add S. If it's here, it's masculine plural, and this is feminine. Alors, aucun means none or no. Not know the answer, like yes or no, but no thing, no that, meaning none of that. Alors, je n'ai aucun doute. Je n'ai aucun doute. I have no doubt. Je n'ai aucun doute. Il n'y a aucun problème. Il n'y a aucun problème. There is no problem. Questions maybe about this set here? Wait, can I receive some questions? Or no? It's clear. One question, why did not write pas after the negative sentence? Which one? Here? Because if you remember, we have multiple kinds of negation. We've seen it last week. So we have ne pas, ne jamais, and we have also ne aucun. Okay? It's a part of negation. You're welcome. Alors, let's move further then. And let's see a new thing. So if you remember where I explained about ça, I gave a weird structure. There was something already, ça m'intéresse. And I gave also an example, ça m'arrange. Okay? So what is this this M here doing? It's what we call a reflexive pronoun. What is a reflexive pronoun? What is a reflexive verb? So it's actually verbs that will happen on the subject. Okay. So the subject is not only doing the action, but is receiving also the action. For example, when I say je parle à mon ami, je parle avec mon ami, I'm speaking with my friend. So I'm doing the action of speaking, but I'm not the one receiving the action of speaking. It's my friend who's receiving the action of speaking, right? But reflexive verbs are those verbs where you will do the action and be the one who receives the action also. When I say you, the subject, okay? The subject will do the action and receive it also. So he will be both the emitter and the receiver of the action, okay? And these verbs in their infinitive form always are in this structure. It's se and then the verb. For example, s'appeler. So we've seen appeler, to call, but s'appeler is to call one's self. Okay? To call one's self. So for example, I will, oh my God, explain this first, and then I will go over the reflexive pronouns. So for example, je m'appelle, je m'appelle. When I say je m'appelle, I call myself, okay? Je m'appelle. It's for this and this one, it's they are used a lot in greetings. For example, je m'appelle Danny. Je m'appelle Danny. In English, we often translate the sentence by my name is Danny, but which is wrong technically to translate it this way, because technically it's translated to I call myself Danny. Okay? Je m'appelle Danny. Tu t'appelles, je sais pas, John. Tu t'appelles John. You call yourself John. But we translate it again with your name is John. Or I can ask, comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? So here again, we will translate it by what is your name, but that's not technically what I'm asking. I'm asking literally, what are you called? So who's doing the action here? Je m'appelle, when I say je m'appelle. So I'm doing the action of appeler, calling. But who's receiving the action? It's me also, je. Okay? So tu t'appelles, you call yourself. Who's doing the action? It's you. And who's receiving the action? It's you. Clear for what a reflexive verb is? Do you have any questions? All right, so let's get more in depth with it. So all these verbs will start with se or s apostrophe. Of course, it depends. If the verb starts with a vowel, it will be s apostrophe. You get, I think, you are used to this by now. So it will be se or s apostrophe plus verb, and that will be directly a reflexive verb. Whenever you see this, it's a reflexive verb. The se, that se or s apostrophe, is called a reflexive pronoun. And as the verb changes through the conjugation, okay, it will not be the same all along. So e, es, ons, ez, ent. The reflexive pronoun also changes, okay? And the reflexive pronouns are these ones: me, te, ce, nous, vous, ce. Me, te, ce, nous, vous, ce. So for je, it's me. For tu, it's te. For il and elle, and not on, because on is plural. So il and elle, it's ce. For nous, it's nous also. For vous, it's vous. And for il and elle in plural, it's ce again. So me, te, ce, nous, vous, ce. And of course, the me, te, and ce have their equivalent with apostrophe. So you take out the e and you replace with an apostrophe if the verb starts with a vowel. Okay? Let's see it in in this verb first and then the examples. Alors, je m'appelle, tu t'appelles, il s'appelle, elle s'appelle, s'appelle, nous nous appelons, nous nous appelons. It's not a mistake here. It's 2 times nous. Okay? The first nous is the subject. The second nous is the reflexive pronoun. Nous nous appelons. Vous vous appelez. Again, same logic. Vous vous appelez. Il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. OK? Je m'appelle, tu t'appelles. Il s'appelle, elle s'appelle, on s'appelle. Nous nous appelons. Vous vous appelez. Il s'appelle, elle s'appelle. Questions? All right. So, of course, I think it's clear, but the verb this is not a tense or anything, so of course it will not change anything to the conjugation of the verb. Okay, so if it's an ER and then verb, so you follow the normal ER conjugation. If it's an IR and then verb, you will follow so the IR conjugation and etc. Okay. Alors, note that m'appeler is often used to introduce oneself by starter. Of course, I explained this. So let's see the examples here. Je m'appelle Marie. M'appelle Marie. My name is Marie. Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? What's your name? Or how are you called? How do you call yourself? Il s'appelle Jean-Pierre. His name is Jean-Pierre. Or he calls himself Jean-Pierre. Okay? Alors, let's see another example to understand maybe more this concept of reflexive verb. Se réveiller. So réveiller is to wake up. Se réveiller is to wake up oneself. Okay, not just to wake up. Alors, so it's when it's the same verb, of course, réveiller, réveiller, to wake up. But this one, the reflexive form of this verb, will happen on the subject itself. Okay? It is used when it happens on the subject itself. For example, je me réveille. I wake up. Okay? Tu te réveilles. You wake up. Il se réveille. Elle se réveille. On se réveille. Nous nous réveillons. Vous vous réveillez. Il se réveille. Elle se réveille. So when the subject is doing the action, we use the reflexive form. But if we are waking up, if the subject is waking up somebody else, so in this case, we use the normal form of the verb. So just réveiller, not se réveiller. Okay? Alors, je me réveille, tu te réveilles, il se réveille, elle se réveille, on se réveille, nous nous réveillons, vous vous réveillez, il se réveille, elle se réveille. It's not, please don't do the mistake because I will give this as an assignment, but it's not je me réveille, tu te réveilles, elle se réveille, okay? Remember this I double L, it's you sound. Je me réveille, you, réveille, tu te réveilles, il se réveille, elle se réveille, on se réveille, nous nous réveillons, vous vous réveillez, il se réveille, elle se réveille. And it's not ils se réveillant. The ANT is silent, remember. All right? Alors, examples. Je me réveille tôt tous les matins. Je me réveille tôt tous les matins. I wake up early every morning. Elle se réveille de bonne humeur. Elle se réveille de bonne humeur. She wakes up in a good mood. Humeur is mood. OK? Elle se réveille de bonne humeur. Nous nous réveillons à 7 heures. Nous nous réveillons à 7 heures. We wake up at 7 o'clock. Il se réveille quand le soleil se lève. Il se réveille quand le soleil se lève. They wake up when the sun rises. And we have another reflexive verb actually in this sentence. Se lever. Okay? To rise or to stand up. We will see it, don't worry. Questions for now? Okay. Oh. I have a question. Am I going a bit too fast for today? Compared to previous sessions, maybe? Because Okay, it's weird because we only have 5 slides left. Okay. Well, good. We can do some practice then if we have time. All right. Alors, se lever, to get up. Okay, we can use this verb on the sun or the moon also to mean to rise. Okay, le soleil se lève, for example, the sun rises, or la lune se lève, the moon rises. But when we use it on people, it means to get up. Alors, se lever. Je me lève, je me lève, tu te lèves, il se lève, elle se lève, on se lève, nous nous levons, nous nous levons, vous vous levez, il se lève, elle se lève. Some examples. Je me lève tôt tous les jours. Je me lève tôt tous les jours. Il se lève de la chaise et quitte la pièce. Il se lève de la chaise et quitte la pièce. He gets up from the chair and leaves the room. La chaise is the chair and quitter is to leave. The verb quitter. It's not pronounced quitter here, okay? Given the infinitive form. Quitte here. Alors, nous nous levons à 6 heures le matin. Nous nous levons à 6 heures le matin. We get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Il se lève lentement après une nuit de sommeil. Il se lève lentement après une nuit de sommeil. They get up slowly after a night's sleep. Lentement is slowly. Après, it's after, après, une nuit de sommeil, so a night of sleep. Yeah, sommeil is sleep. Okay? Questions, maybe? All right. So, some vocabulary and verbs that are used around sleeping. So we have se coucher, to go to bed, se coucher. S'endormir, it's to fall asleep. Se réveiller, it's to wake up. And se lever, it's to get up. Okay, because often, sometimes I receive the question, se réveiller and se lever are the same? Not really. Okay, so se réveiller is just to open your eyes from sleep, to be conscious again from sleep. So just to wake up. So for example, you can wake up and not get up. So on peut se réveiller, mais ne pas se lever. And se lever, it's to get up from bed and start your day. Alors, of course, they are also reflexive verbs, so they will follow the conjugation of reflexive verbs. Examples with se coucher. I will zoom in. Alors, je me couche tôt. Je me couche tôt. I go to bed early. Il se couche à minuit. Il se couche à minuit. They go to bed at midnight. Minuit is midnight. Elle s'endort rapidement. Elle s'endort rapidement. She falls asleep quickly. Rapidement is quickly. Nous nous endormons devant la télévision. Nous nous endormons devant la télévision. We fall asleep in front of the TV. Se réveiller. Il se réveille tôt le matin. Il se réveille tôt le matin. He wakes up early in the morning. Elles se réveillent ensemble. Elles se réveillent ensemble. They wake up together. Ensemble is together. Tu te lèves à 7 heures. Tu te lèves à 7 heures. You get up at 7 o'clock. Nous nous levons tôt les jours de semaine. Nous nous levons tôt les jours de semaine. We get up early on weekdays. Les jours de semaine, weekdays. Of course, we mean days outside of the weekend. Questions? All right, some more verbs then. Up. These verbs are for getting ready. We have se laver, so to wash oneself. Se doucher, to shower. So it happens on the subject, so that's why it's a reflexive verb. Se brosser, to brush, for example, teeth or hair. Se brosser. Se maquiller, so se maquiller. Maquiller, okay? Se maquiller, not maquiller or maquiller. Maquiller, to put on makeup. Se préparer. Se préparer, to get ready. Alors, let's see, se laver. Il se lave les mains. Il se lave les mains. He washes his hands. Elle se lave le visage. Elle se lave le visage. They wash their faces. Here I have, it's not really an exercise, but a small exercise. If you see that you understood what we were doing, so what we've done so far, and if you are starting to understand the structure of the language, try to modify the sentence by using not the reflexive verb, but the normal verb, okay? So laver, not se laver. So to wash, not to wash oneself, but to keep the meaning correct. What do you have to add? How do you have to modify? Because we can modify here something for these two sentences. Perfect. Whoa, that was really quick. Yes, il lave ses mains. Exactly. So here we don't specify that these hands are his hands. Why? Because we know that we are using a reflexive verb. So we know that the verb is happening on the subject. So if the verb is happening on the subject and he's washing hands, it's for sure his hands. Okay? But we can use, we can use the normal form of the verb, laver, but here we have to specify that it's his hands. So we take out les and we use the possessive adjective ses. So il lave ses mains. And it would mean the same thing. He washes his hands. Okay, il lave ses mains. Same thing here. Elle se lave le visage. Donc, we take se. So, leur visage. And it's leur with S. So here it's a bit weird because leur visage without S. So elle, it's plural, so they don't have just one common face. So we have to put visage in plural. Okay. Here, so very good. Alors, elle se lave le visage. Next example with se doucher, to shower. So, elle se douche tous les matins. Elle se douche tous les matins. She showers every day. Nous nous douchons avant d'aller au travail. Douchons avant d'aller au travail. We shower before going to work. Avant is before. Alors, brosser. Il se brosse les dents après chaque repas. Il se brosse les dents après chaque repas. So they brush their teeth after each meal or after every meal. Not really every, it's each, because chaque is each. After each meal. Je me brosse les cheveux avant de sortir. Je me brosse les cheveux avant de sortir. I brush my hair before going out. Se maquiller. Now. Elle se maquille légèrement. Elle se maquille légèrement. She puts on light makeup. Légèrement, it means lightly. Okay, lightly. Elle se maquille pour la soirée. Elle se maquille pour la soirée. They put on makeup for the evening. Se préparer. Now, nous nous préparons pour la réunion. Nous préparons pour la réunion. We are getting ready for the meeting. Tu te prépares à partir en vacances. Tu te prépares à partir en vacances. You are getting ready to leave on vacation. Any questions? So, let's see. Now we're done with reflexive verbs. Let's see IR ending verbs. We haven't seen IR ending verbs, right? So, just a second, sorry. Received something. Okay. All right, I'm back, sorry. Alors, let's see IR ending verbs. So we've seen ER ending verbs, which we called the first group. We've seen RE ending verbs, which are called the third group verbs. Let's see now the second group. Why did we left them for the last? Because so for today's session, it was actually quite light and easy. But it's an introduction actually to tomorrow's session, because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with too heavy sessions, because I will prepare mentally to be overwhelmed tomorrow, okay? Because there is some craziness happening with this IR category, because we have subcategories in it. It's a group that has some categories in it. So we have the first class, which is the regular IR ending verbs. But we have also the second, the third, the fourth, and even the fifth class. And each class are irregular verbs. Okay, for each class, it's an irregular verb. Not an irregular verb, but it's irregular verbs. But irregular verbs that follow a certain pattern. That's why we could divide them into classes and to place them into classes, different classes. So the first class, let's see it now. It's the easiest. It's the regular verbs. Okay, the regular IR ending verbs. So what do we do with regular IR ending verbs with the first class? This is the pattern. Really easy. You take out the IR and then you put IS, IS, IT, I double S ONS, I double S EZ, I double S ENT. You see that even in the conjugation, it starts to get weird. And this is the regular one. It starts to get weird. So brace yourselves for tomorrow. It will get weirder. Alors. So, choisir. Let's see, choisir, to choose. So as you can see, we take out the IR, so we are left with choise. Okay. For the pronunciation of these endings, it's I, I, I. Okay. I, I, I. Not is, or it. Okay. I, I, I. Ils sont, ils sont, isse, is. So here, if you take out the IR, you are left with choise. Okay? Choisir, so choise. And then you add the sound of the corresponding ending for pronunciation, of course. So, je choisis, tu choisis, ils, elles ont choisi, nous choisissons, nous choisissons, vous choisissez, ils choisissent, elles choisissent. Okay? So, again, je choisis, tu choisis, il choisit, elle choisit, on choisit, nous choisissons, vous choisissez, ils choisissent, elles choisissent. With examples, you will have here. Alors, je choisis toujours la pizza. Je choisis toujours la pizza. I always choose pizza. Tu choisis le film ce soir. Tu choisis le film ce soir. You choose the movie tonight. Il choisit de ne pas venir. Il choisit de ne pas venir. He chooses not to come. Elle choisit ses vêtements avec soin. Elle choisit ses vêtements avec soin. I will explain why I put this here. Elle choisit ses vêtements avec soin. So she chooses her clothes carefully. So avec soin, it actually means with care. Okay? It's not carefully, literally. Because care, the noun, is soin. Avec soin, with care. So if we want to use carefully, we have to use soigneusement. Soigneusement. So we take out avec soin and use soigneusement. So we can either say elle choisit ses vêtements avec soin or elle choisit ses vêtements soigneusement. Okay? Nous choisissons de partir demain. Nous choisissons de partir demain. We choose to leave tomorrow. Vous choisissez la meilleure option. Vous choisissez la meilleure option. You choose the best option. Meilleur, it's best. La meilleure, the best. Ils choisissent un nouveau chef. Ils choisissent un nouveau chef. They choose a new leader. Chef is leader. Elles choisissent leurs amis avec précaution. It's synonym to. Avec soin, précaution, soin. You can use either one of them. Elles choisissent leurs amis avec précaution. Elles choisissent leurs amis avec soin. Elles choisissent leurs amis soigneusement. Okay, all of them work perfectly and equally correct. They choose their friends carefully. Questions? No. All right, so I will give you a list of verbs. Regular IR verbs, so the first class of IR verbs. Alors, we have, of course, here it's the pronouns, so je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, and elle. And we have first, réussir. Réussir, it's to succeed. Okay? Réussir, to succeed. Munir. Munir. It's to equip. Okay? Munir, to equip. Obéir, it's to obey. Obéir, to obey. Remplir, it's to fill up. Or just to fill, actually. Réfléchir, to think. Réunir, it's to unite or just reunite, same thing. Réunir. Nourrir, to feed. Fournir, to provide. And établir, to establish. Okay, well, let's take a look. So, réussir, we take out IR and we are left with réus. So, and then I, ils sont, ils, is. So, je réussis, je réussis. Je réussis, tu réussis. Il réussit. Nous réussissons. Nous réussissons. Vous réussissez. Ils réussissent. So, je réussis, tu réussis, il réussit, elle réussit, on réussit, nous réussissons, vous réussissez, ils réussissent, elles réussissent. It's like if a snake is talking. But yeah. Munir. So, je munis, tu munis, il munit, elle munit, on munit, nous munissons, vous munissez, ils munissent, elles munissent. Obéir, j'obéis, tu obéis. It's not j'obéis, okay? Don't do this mistake, please. It's not j'obéis, tu obéis. Non, j'obéis, béis, okay? J'obéis, tu obéis, il obéit, elle obéit, on obéit, nous obéissons, nous obéissons, nous obéissons, vous obéissez, ils obéissent, elles obéissent. Remplir, je remplis, tu remplis, il remplit, elle remplit, on remplit, nous remplissons, vous remplissez, ils remplissent, elles remplissent. Réfléchir, je réfléchis, tu réfléchis, il réfléchit, elle réfléchit, on réfléchit, nous réfléchissons, vous réfléchissez, ils réfléchissent, elles réfléchissent. Réunir, je réunis, tu réunis, il réunit, elle réunit, on réunit. Nous réussissons, vous réussissez, ils réussissent, elles réussissent. Nourrir, so, je nourris, tu nourris, il nourrit, elle nourrit, on nourrit. Nous nourrissons, vous nourrissez, ils nourrissent, elles nourrissent. Fournir, je fournis, tu fournis, elle fournit, on fournit. Il fournit, elle fournit, on fournit. Nous fournissons, vous fournissez, ils fournissent, elles fournissent. Then, établir, j'établis, tu établis, il établit, elle établit, on établit. Nous établissons, vous établissez, ils établissent, elles établissent. Questions? Regarding anything we've seen today, because we are done, okay? Really early, but don't worry, we will do some practice. So we will not leave you now. Of course, if somebody has to leave, you can leave. Problem. Any guide to identify regular and irregular verbs. So I don't remember if I already answered this question with this batch or another batch. I don't remember, but unfortunately, no. There is, just like in English, actually, when you see irregular verbs, of course, irregular verbs in English, it's in with the past simple. So there is no way to identify them, actually. You just have a list to learn, to memorize, and that's it. It's the same thing in French. So unfortunately, there is no trick. Questions about anything? So I have, actually, before going to the practice, I have something to say. So if some of you feel that they are maybe a bit behind in rhythm and are quite maybe, I don't know, afraid to start the second month, because actually we just have 2 weeks left. It's our 5th session, so yes, It's the third week, then the fourth week. So if you feel a little bit far behind, don't worry. It's still early to catch up, okay? Because actually, yes, the sessions we had so far are quite heavy, intensive, and frustrating. I will say it, so I know it is frustrating and complicated. But as you can see, the sessions are getting easier and lighter, and it will stay the same actually. So I know that I said for tomorrow it will be crazy with the verbs and everything. But basically, that's all we have to see tomorrow. It will be our main topic for the whole session. So we don't have practically anything else to see. So it will be just that. And for that, we have actually for each class, it's true that there are a lot of classes, but for each class, we have a pattern. So it's not that hard. Okay. So don't worry, don't feel that you are maybe too far behind. It's still early to judge for that. I know. I'm saying this because I had today I had student uh, in that batch we started the second month last week, and she felt like she needs to go over the first month, do her first month again and everything. She started feeling bad and demotivated a bit. So don't worry, it's not late, and don't feel that you are. And of course, just put some effort into it, some more time into practice and everything, and it will get quite. It will be everything will go well, basically. All right, so no questions. Great. Let's start maybe. Yes, Venkatesh?
Apart from the verbs which we are discussing here, we also get many more verbs in the exercise.
Mhm.
Do you think that should be good enough for the exam, or should we practice some more additional verbs from other sources?
If you can know other verbs, it's better, of course, but actually it will be more than enough because we are still going through verbs. Each session we will see some new verbs. In examples, we will see new verbs also that I will explain. So don't worry, you will have enough verbs by the end of this course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But of course, having more vocabulary is always good. All right, let's try something. Yeah, why not? Because I know this one is a bit hard to pronounce. No, I will not start. Let's not be rude, and I will start with something easy, not something difficult. Alors, who wants to try with the examples here? We have time. I can give you 2 minutes if you want to read first and then try. If you want to participate, just raise your hand. Want me to read it again, maybe? Fine. Okay, Venkatesh, go ahead.
Je me réveille tôt tous les matins. Elle se réveille de bonne humeur. Humeur.
Humeur.
Nous nous, humeur. Nous nous réveillons à 7 heures. Il se réveille quand le soleil se lève.
Perfect. Thank you. Anyone else? What's going on? Are you guys shy? Or because I remember that from previous weeks there was a lot of participation. What's going on? Why? Sorry. Can you tell me in the chat? Just be honest, don't worry. So if it, I don't know. So if you prefer not to participate, it's all right. Or if you, I don't know. Maybe you don't want this session to last long. Maybe you're tired and you want it to end. Just, I don't know. Today, yes. I will. So I cannot promise to send it today, but I will try. Okay. I'll try my best. This for sure tomorrow I will send both sessions, but today sending this one. Oh, we'll see. Don't worry. So Noah, do you want to practice something else? Maybe. Of course, you don't have to practice this. We can practice something else. So basically, you can say that it's an open mic time now. Oh, don't worry. Alors, maybe this feels too fresh, too new for you. I read in a paragraph on a newspaper. Yeah, it's a good idea, but I thought about it actually, but not. I prefer not. You still don't have all the tools actually for reading. By the end of the first month, you will have all the tools for reading. So starting from the end of the first month to starting, so and the start of the second month, we'll do paragraph readings actually. But now I don't know, because when I do something that is too hard, that is of course something that is not, it can demotivate some students. So they feel that they are not ready to do this, to learn this. But I don't know, repeat just the French words, all slides, just the main one, not the sentences. Words, what words do you mean? The verbs? Or, oh, okay, I'm not okay, so I can do that. If somebody has something, wants something, of course, you can participate, or you can tell me, but during that, so I will just repeat. So we started with, so, avoir, verb, so, j'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. This is no. So we have avoir faim, avoir soif, avoir froid, avoir chaud, avoir peur, avoir raison, avoir tort, avoir envie de, avoir besoin de, avoir l'habitude de. Then have ce, cette, c'est, ça. For the adverbs, we have beaucoup, trop, un peu, assez, tout, autre, même, certain, aucun. For the verbs, we have s'appeler, s'appeler, se réveiller, se lever, se coucher, s'endormir, se réveiller, se lever. Se laver, se doucher, se brosser, se maquiller, se préparer. Then, yes, of course, two will change. It will be two, toot, tous, so it will change, yes, depending on the gender and the number of the noun.
So, are we going to see this later or?
Yes, yes, we will see.
Okay. Okay.
Alors, choisir, to choose, choisir. What else? That's it, basically. Then we have réussir, munir, obéir, obéir, remplir, réfléchir, réunir, nourrir, fournir, and établir. Pronunciation of the last verb. This one, établir. You want me to repeat this one? Or is it good right now? Oh, the whole slide. So even the conjugation. Suppose do we need to pronounce R at the end? Yes, you have to pronounce the R at the end when, of course, you use the infinitive form. Yes. Ir. Each time it ends with ir, ir. Each time. Oh yeah, so an advice. I think I mentioned it already, but I will repeat it anyway. Don't make it too hard on yourself with the R pronunciation. So don't try too hard to pronounce it re, okay? Like the native French, basically. Okay? If you see that you cannot do it clearly, like re, we hear clearly it's re. If you're creating some new sound like wo or something like this, wo, because I say this because I have students who do this, so a lot, not some of them, but a lot. They try too hard to pronounce the R the real way, and they end up creating some new sounds. Don't do this mistake, please. Okay, if you see that it's too hard, just pronounce it re. It's totally fine. It's accepted everywhere. Nobody will judge you or consider it as a mistake because it is not a mistake to pronounce it re. It's just a different pronunciation. It's just an accent, actually, that already exists. Even in France, some regions, they pronounce re. Okay. We even have an expression for that. We call it rouler les R. Rouler les R. To roll the R's. Okay. R. All right. And it actually, even German has the same thing. The re is always pronounced re, but in some regions in Germany, they pronounce it re. Alors, then I think, oh, I will repeat just maybe this one more time. So everyone, if you want to leave, you can leave. I will just repeat this, and then we can end the session a bit ahead of time, but it's all right. Alors, je réussis, tu réussis, il réussit, elle réussit, on réussit, nous réussissons, vous réussissez, ils réussissent, elles réussissent. Je munis, tu munis, il munit, elle munit, on munit, Nous munissons, vous munissez, ils munissent, elles munissent. J'obéis, tu obéis, il obéit, elle obéit, on obéit. Nous obéissons, vous obéissez, ils obéissent, elles obéissent. Je remplis, tu remplis, il remplit, elle remplit, on remplit, nous remplissons, vous remplissez, ils remplissent, elles remplissent. Réfléchis, tu réfléchis, il réfléchit, elle réfléchit, on réfléchit, nous réfléchissons, vous réfléchissez, ils réfléchissent, elles réfléchissent. Réunir, je réunis, tu réunis, il réunit, elle réunit, on réunit, nous réunissons, vous réunissez, ils réunissent, elles réunissent. Je nourris, tu nourris, il nourrit, elle nourrit, on nourrit, nous nourrissons, vous nourrissez, ils nourrissent, elles nourrissent. Je fournis, tu fournis, il fournit, elle fournit, on fournit, nous fournissons, vous fournissez, ils fournissent, elles fournissent. J'établis, tu établis, il établit, elle établit, on établit, nous établissons, vous établissez, ils établissent, elles établissent. And I think that's it. So, thank you all for your presence today. I hope it was good for you. I didn't receive a lot of questions today. I hope it's a good sign, okay? Because I'm a bit afraid since everyone basically was silent for the practice part. So I remember that I had a batch. I'm traumatized actually by that batch because it was weird because during the first month, second month, they were really motivated, participating every time and everything. And in the last month, fourth month, they were silent, completely silent. Basically, I felt like a ghost here, just speaking, asking anyone, and especially for the fourth month, which is crazy, I think, because in the fourth month, we basically do only speaking practice because it's time for to prepare for the exam. So we do speaking practice. And each time we get to the speaking practice, nobody participates. It's weird. So I just stay facing my screen and begging basically people to please do, it's good for you. Please participate. So I hope that this batch will not end up being like this. So I hope it's a good sign that I didn't have any questions for today, but anyway, it's important to participate, okay? You are paying money for this to practice your speaking, okay? So take what's worth of your money, basically, okay? So yeah, that's all I have to say. All right. Thank you. We can end it here. I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. À demain.